All right. So I will try something new today. What I'm trying to do is build a completely new service using Ruby on Rails, and then see how much and how fast can you actually get there just using Windsurf on the Claude 3.7 model. First of all, I have created a scaffolding Ruby on Rails 8 version hooked up with Tailwind and hooked up with Postgres. And that is, if we look at the database, then it is completely empty. No tables, nothing. So what I want to test is the ability to, based on an idea I have, how can we actually create this and get it running? And what I'm considering building is this service I call dplyd. And dplyd, I don't want to get too much into details about it right now, but the idea is basically this one. Dplyd is a simple public platform where developers can celebrate and share their deployments. Whether it's a major release or small bug fix, dplyd makes it easy to announce what you have shipped. Each post appears in a global feed, and you have the ability to do a GitHub hook and see what is other people deploying. So quite simple. I used ChatGPT, the canvas, to actually build this up. I had a small idea and I iterated to actually get to an idea which would make sense to build a product for. In this case, I have a set of core features, simple feed, API first, and I have also some use cases. I would like to use it in GitHub Actions. I would like to see how can we do it. Extract the GitHub message from the last push, and if it starts with colon sparkles, then it's a new feature. Then I will actually post it to the api.dplyd.com. Dplyd.com is the name I'm considered deploying it to. And then also some examples on how to just use it plain, basically only having 4 endpoints, one for posting a new deploy, one for getting the feeds, so you can actually see what's happening just across the platform, and then get deploys for a specific user, usually for yourself, so you can post it where you want, and then some authentication. All right. Then I also asked it to create some user stories, and I verified those, and it's quite simple. You want to post a message, you want to follow a feed, stuff like that. And also with authentication, I asked it to do single standard sign-up username password, but also GitHub and Google. Because GitHub, obviously, it's for developers, it makes a lot of sense, and Gmail just because it's very easy. And for the tech stack, I'm using Ruby on Rails, I'm using Tailwind, and Postgres. And also just noted that I want to use active storage. To be honest, we probably don't need it, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter. In this case, I should probably have removed it. And then the API design, I just cranked a little bit of what would make sense. So basically do a post on the root domain with a message and a URL. Then you would be able to post, and then you can get the feed, you can get the deployments, and you can get a new token. And then I iterated over the data model, very simple data model, 3 tables, deployments, users, and teams. I could have considered not keeping or having the team, but I thought, hey, let's make it just a bit more complex. It shouldn't be a problem for the model. And the deployment has the message URL and then a deployed add timestamp, because it's Ruby on Rails, you already by default get created ad and updated ad. But the deployed ad is important, so you actually know when is it deployed. It could be that that would differ from the created ad, but maybe not. The user, very simple user. I want to separate the first name, last name, and then I want to have the email just for contact purposes, and then a token. And then for the team, if you are in a team, if you are not an indie developer but associated with a larger team, then you should have the ability to just associate that, and also a URL for that, so you can actually link to that website if needed. Then some UI markups, just global feed, user specific, and the post form, and some token management, because you need to be able to generate the token and revoke it and regenerate it. And some empty states. I think this idea about an illustration saying no deployment yet, go ship something, very fun. I think I like it. And the other one seems actually to be duplicates, because this is generated by ChatGPT. Sometimes the canvas, it actually does some duplications. Usually, in this case, it was because I said expand on the or elaborate on the UI mockups section, and then it expands on it, but it forgets to actually remove these one. And then landing page, don't want to go into that one. It's just for having it. And then the inspiration, I named some inspirations like product Twitter, but also the hash node, because I like the design of that. And again, it did the same here. So it looks like I actually would like to just clean this up a little bit before sharing it with the Windsurf. And domain, that's my domain, doesn't really is necessary for it to do. And then a TLDR, just to say, what are we doing? What are we building? And the future ideas. So what I'm doing is I will basically take this one, just copy it, even though it's not copied by as markdown. I will just deploy it. I will just push it in here. And then I'll just remove this one, and I will also remove the future ideas and domain, and then also, because this was duplicates, and the hash, and this one duplicates, and also the landing page, I think we should keep that, but it also had this one as duplicates, right? Yeah. Boom. So was that it? Yes. So yes. So now we have some text. Just copied it. No real format. No markdown. But a good enough starting point to actually give it to the Windsurf prompt in its context window, and just say, go do some cool stuff. So I will actually just take this one, and I will simply paste it in here. And then I'll say, simply say, I want to build this new service. Please explore the design document below. It's called deployed, and I want you to build this system. We already have configured a Ruby on Rails 8 with Tailwind and Postgres. So just use that as your base. Please go through each feature and start developing. Basically it. I do nothing else. This is what I do. Boom. Now it gets it all, and it's a quite large context window, and it does a lot of information. Also have the inspiration, which you might skew it a little bit. But now it starts looking at it. So I'll help you deploy or build the deploy system. I'll just remove this one. Don't save. And then it says, okay, so let's go through it. So first of all, it analyzes the gem file. Say, hey, what do we actually have of gem files? And then it's erroring out. It does that usually, but now it actually starts creating the user model. And it already had the model, so I think that it will probably nail this one 100% without issues at all. So what I've configured my Windsurf to do is to use some Windsurf rules. I'll share those, and also a prettier configuration, but that's just for me when I format code. But it will actually generate this model now, and it says running, but it's actually not running for whatever reason, it seems. So let's actually see what's going on. Open in terminal. Okay, it actually did that. So I'll just do continue, because it seems like it's, let's see, it's generated, raised, generated. It is already generated. So let's just do continue. Sometimes it just locks up, and now it generates another model. Or it actually tries to do it again because it's already there. But then it probably figured it out. I'll create the message of it says it's already there. I see it's already there, and then it continues, right? So now it gets a schema, figuring out what is actually going on, and just let's see what did it actually create. Didn't create the. Oh, okay, didn't run the migration yet, right? But it's creating the table now. It's generating the model. Sorry, the team, and the deployment. This one is just my extension saying I should run some migration, but it will actually do that automatically. I have configured it to run it automatically, and it does that. Let's just close this one down. I see the migration for adding the team reference to users made the team non-nullable, which means every user must belong according to the design. So now it actually looked at the design, figures out, it should probably not be not null. It should probably be nullable. So then, in this case, adds a new reference. And obviously, because we are building a new system, we would probably just have updated the migration and just rerun the migration. But let's just go with the flow here. And now it seems like it's going in and adding the standard belongs to has many. Also add some validations, uniqueness, true, yes, I want that. Generate token, standard way of doing it. And then you heard my sound. I've configured it to tell me once it's done. I just want to go through these ones. So the team one looks fine. Deployment, recent, yeah, okay, looks fine. So now it says, okay, now that we have our model set up, let's create the controllers and API endpoints according to the design, and then it does this, and then it tries to create the control. So let's see. API deployments looks perfect. So I'll just say continue. Whoops, continue. So this is basically my thumbs up. I just call it continue. So let's continue building the deploy system. So it generates a controller, and it's the API auth controller. Makes sense. The API users and the base. What is it? Okay, so that's fine. It wants to do a base controller probably for having the auth being there. I think it's fine. Let's check it out. So skip forgery, yeah. I would, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. We might need to tweak this later, but and also, yeah, okay. It's sometimes we need to ensure that it's using the Rails 8 approach versus previous versions of Rails. But let's see. Deployment, yeah, it just extends the API base controller. This is fine. Create, and yeah, this is what does it come? User deployment new, and save it and returns as a JSON, and the feed. Okay, the last. Yes. Okay, it looks pretty okay. It's doing a lot, so let's just go through it rather fast. The users, deployments, yeah, looks probably right. API. I do think we need to do something different with the skip forgery protection. I can't remember exactly how this is working on Rails 8, but let's look at that later. And the auth controller, what do we have? Then we have the routes. Okay, so what is it doing here? It should probably do the okay. Yeah. Okay, it looks quite interesting. It's creating some get once sessions new create destroy. It's not using or it's using resources for deployments and users, but also having these one that might cause some issues. Anyway, we are just going through it. Now it's done. So let's check the Rails general controller home and index. Yeah, it makes a home and index. Let's also, did it remove the root home index? Yes. Okay, so we have this one. Yeah, and then it does the controller for the deployments. Let's continue building the web interface. Now I'll create the users controller. Yeah. Now I'll create the sessions, and I'll continue building deployment. Let's build the so profiles. Okay, tokens. Now that I've created all the necessary controllers, so what do we do in the application? We allow, yeah, this is correct. Help method is also correct. It looks pretty correct. And the sessions, so we create a user based on the email, no GitHub or anything else. So now we are actually in a state where we have created a couple of tables, and I think we might have ran the migrations already. So we have a user, and I just want to check out. So user, first name, last name, email, nullable, yes. Token, yes. Created at updated, yes. And the team ID, yes. So all good. Teams, very simple. ID, name, yes. URL, yes. And deployments. So ID, and this should be no, it is no, yes. And deployed at, this should not be normal. It does not matter, we'll change that later. Okay, so the table looks fine. What we have generated looks pretty good. And at this stage, 12 files created. I have a feeling that it might have made some issues with the API controller. So let's first of all just go to our console, restart the server. So it restarts fine. Then let's do a reload of the page and see where does it actually fail. So in this case, it doesn't fail. So it has a home index, which is cool. And if I just do, let's actually do another. Okay, that was a little bit too much. Let's just see if I have some Rails routes. Let's actually see what do we actually have. So we have the tokens, we have the sessions new. So let's actually see if we can create a user, because I saw that it did something, but I haven't really checked out what it's able to do. So we have no sessions new. Yes, we have a session new. Okay, but we have nothing in there. Okay, so it did not create any form for that. Okay, let's just continue. Again, continue. Go. I would like it to create. Okay, so it starts to do the home controller. I would rather have it do the sign up functionality, just simple sign up, so we can actually get that running. And now it's add pagination. I didn't really ask it to do that, especially because I have in my Windsurf, I have a comment about limit number of NuGet gems. Try to use existing gems. So I basically hate that it automatically adds gems, but maybe I will try to fix that later. Now it at least installed the gem, and it wants to do what in the user? It wants to do that it can find the user. It can. So is it for updating the user? What is this? Let's continue now and implement the home to display the global feed of deployments. Let's add the Caminari. Let's see. So now let's implement the views for our request. Let's start with the layout on the home page. First, let's create a shared. Okay, so it just goes completely rag mode and add the layout. I think this is fine. We had no views almost. It was just the scaffolding views, and now it's actually trying to build some kind of design. And usually it's not a it's not a bad design. It creates it's a decent design that we can actually work on. So it's obviously a scaffold design, but it's probably decent. So you can see here, because we have Tailwind, it already does some navigation. It has the user signed in, completely correct, and sign in. So you have the login. Okay, so login path and register path. So now it actually makes it possible for me to more or less just reload the page and then create the user from that. Usually with the sign up, it might be a bit more tricky until it's getting better at figuring out which endpoints to use. But let's see. So it's updating the it's updating the log or the layout. Yes, very, very classic stuff. Now it removes this home index, which was not cool. Yeah, and it checks for deployments already. So just was the home controller. Let's check the home controller, and has the deployments for the So it just take the last 20 deployments to show those. Obviously that's empty for a start. Go ship something and be the first to post. Yeah, that's good. And okay, so does a lot of stuff. And usually it never fails on this one. It's on these views. It creates it's almost always really good. So okay, it also has the examples here. That's fine. So so let's see. It's still running. And okay, let's see. Let's continue now. Create. Okay, generating. Okay, so what does it do with this? What does it show for? Oh, show for profile. So okay, so it's also building the profile section. Do a lot of stuff, and obviously because it's a completely new, it has a lot of plumbing which it can do, and it again, because it does it so well, we can get very far very fast. And now it's done, as you can hear, and I don't even want to do a detailed exploration of the views, because I know that it's good. So what I want to obviously explore is the creation of views and stuff like that, and deployments when we get there. But let's just try now to see if we actually have a design. Boom! Now we have a design, right? So deployed, celebrate your deployments, and you can sign in, you can register, and it has a feed. let's press this one. It goes to the same. We can do a sign in, and we have a form, and we can do a register for a new account. And this is a very common one, but I want to test if it's possible. So I will do an account, and I'll just check this because this one usually fails. It actually seems like it did not fail. So now I have a profile. Oh, and I have a profile again. You have Peter, my email, my API token. It's already created, and I can edit my profile and say now as Peter X, and I can do this. Boom. So that looks pretty good, I have to say. So we have the API tokens, and we have this one, and we have an example curl. And well, shouldn't we try that one out actually? So let's just go and do that. So I'll go to my, I'll just do terminal because it's I can't do that because then that terminal is fucked up. So I'll do this one, and then I'll change the URL. So it is boom boom. It's localhost like that, and then yeah, this one. So let me just check if I can do this, and I can do this. So if I do this one, boom, then actually it does a post and have a routing error. So it seems like just posting at the root does not work, and I can't actually remember why, but I think it should work, right? Wasn't that exactly what we told it to do? Let's check the routing out. So let's just do the routes, and let's see if I have deployments. Then I have a deployments create if I post. Okay, so I need to do it to the API route. So I actually need to do it on the API / route. So let's just do routes t, no, Rails routes t grab API. So let's see. So we have API, so it's on the API, and that makes perfect sense. So let's just go here, and let's add it to where was it? Here. So API, like that. All right. So it did something, and it did a success, and it did a deployment, and that looks pretty good without having checked too much into it. But let's see. Boom! We already have a deployment here, and the new feature deployed less than a minute ago. Really nice. We have the name. You can press the user. You can go to the website. The new feature deployed. That was exactly what I did, and the example changelog was also what I did. So if I go to the root, this was the root, sorry. If I go to the feed, okay, the root and the feed is the same. It's perfect. The profile. So I'm just, I don't know, have an idea and have it do whatever I want. I have not said anything about how it should look. I have mentioned a couple of websites I like, and especially Hash Node is a cool one. And to be honest, obviously it's a quite common design right now in 2.25, but it's also where it's heading, and also it's a quite standard for Tailwind Group. Anyway, it looks really good already. So then we can tweak whatever we want to it. So the API token we have, maybe we should try to see if did it actually create the functionality of generating a new token, revoking a token. I don't know. Let's try it out. So generate a new token. Boom. What happens? Okay, new token successfully created. Okay, so now it's this one. Is that the same? No, it's not. So I do it again. It's a new, looks nice. It updates the examples and all that. And what about if I revoke it? Boom. Now it's revoked. And then it basically is the same, just creating a new one, which is common of what you do. So let's just see if it actually works. So now I'll do another deployment with the old token. Boom. And it's unauthorized. So very nice. I take this one. Oops. And I will change it. And it works. So now we have two deployments. Oops, where is this? This one, which is this one. So we actually have already now, in, I don't know, half an hour, have created this feature. So so what's next? I can't actually remember, but let's just say, and no, what I actually would like to do in a scenario like this is it looks pretty nice. It has lots more to do, but I would actually like to do a accept all for this one, and then I would like to go in and make, for this one I would just do a commit, just so I have some things to see a diff between what is it actually going to do now, and especially now it's going to do, if you want to do Gmail or GitHub authentication, it will do a lot of changes to support that, and that could cause issues. So now I want to just do a timestamp on it. So let's just do what is this? This sparkles. So now we have this one. So now I have like a clean setup. So let me write my magic word continue, and let's see what it does. Now it again looks and figures out what do I need to implement. So now I'll say, now I'll create the user show view. Well, that makes a lot of sense because we just saw that this one was actually not showing anything. And again, it will nail it 100%, I'm pretty sure. And I don't even know how it should look, but I'm pretty sure that whatever it does, like that, is probably fine, right? So you have something, so you have your profile, which looks like this, so you can edit your profile, see some more details about it, and then it did this one for showing it, and that is perfect. That is perfect, right? So now implement the deployment show view to display a single deployment. Okay, so now, okay, but that's interesting because I can't even remember if we had a show page for the deployment, but it does it, and my guess is that it should update at least this page so I can actually press it and go to the deployment of that specific deploy, and I'm pretty sure it does it. So let's see. So it updates the routes, and now I can do the diff because I had committed the last change, so it's easier for me to see what's going on. And now it actually get rid of this because it was a little bit messy, but it automatically figured that out, which is perfect. And then it will, okay, it actually just did a little bit of cleanup here, I think. Now let's update. I noticed that duplicate. Okay, so yeah, so it was basically just the cleaning up, and then it's, what is it doing? Okay, let's implement the deployment view to show all. So okay, deployments index view to show all deployments. I need to fix a small issue in the deployments index view. There's a reference to deployment user, which should be deployment.user. Now let's create the shared header. Okay, so just to make sure that I'm actually following along what's going on, I'll just try to see if we actually have one called deployments. Oops, deployments. So we have this one. I'm not sure where it is actually being. Maybe it should update the feed, but let's see. So it's okay. It seems like it has some small issues about updating the footer and header. but it's, let's see, where is it? What is it actually trying to do with the Flash? It's just this is just for updating when you have updated your profile or updated or whatever, then we'll do a Flash message, and I'm pretty sure it's it will figure it out eventually. But okay, now it starts to create the API docs as well. Okay, this is 3.7. You know, Claude 3.7. It does a lot of extra work out of the gate. But anyway, I would like to check this one out, and this is fine. And now I can press it to actually see details about a specific deploy. So I can see it was deployed 5 minutes ago, the exact same time. And again, stuff like this, that it decides that when you show a specific deployment, it should have a relative date, a relative time, and then should actually have the fixed time as well. And obviously that makes a lot of sense to do. And again, deployed by, so you can see now it's actually, let's in a second, let's actually see if we can get the team in there. But I will do another commit to track that. But let's just see what it actually did. So it did an API documentation, and it added up the route. The API docs, where is that actually being referenced? So I'll just do this, and then we have a get API docs, and as you can see, we just have it, but we're not hooking it up. So what I can do, I can go here and do API docs, and I'll see that it has some documentation created with the endpoints we have, using the right namespace, which is absolutely perfect. And yeah, this is fine. So what I would like is to have it hook up. So this one is not hooked up to so I can actually see details about that deployment, and I think it probably should. And why not, right? So so let's see. So this page and this page, what is the difference? All deployments and the landing page deployments. I think we should probably hook that up. Anyway, I would like it to just ensure to hook up the API docs, and that means it will either add a link in the navigation to it, or it will have it somewhere on the landing page. Yeah, so it does it in the header, boom, and then has API document. Well, that is fine. Let's actually see if I sign out. Can I do that? Yes, and I can still see the deployments. That is perfect, and I can see deployments details as well. And what if I sign in? Boom. Is that possible? It is also possible. Yes. So we are full circle for that functionality, at least. Let's see, what is it actually trying to do now? So it adds it ordered the API docs. I don't know if it wants to do more. Great, the API is not properly hooked up. Let's check the content. Let's add links to the home page. Yeah, okay. So it also wants to do a little bit more because it's it's Claude 3.7. So why not? Or maybe it just wants to be good. What is going on here now? Let's see. Now it's successfully hooked up. So yeah, let's reload this page. Now we go. So we get an error, and this is actually the first error we're getting, right? And I want to show how to fix this one. And in this case, it does a link to an API docs path, and then it does a stringify keys. So it might be that when I look at this, actually link to with it do, then it should, yeah, it should not have this one. This is basically what it should, because you do a link to with a blog, so it should just have this one. So this is the error, and I could change it, but I could also just copy this one, including the page where it's calling, and then say, oops, I'm getting an error now, and then it will fix it 100%. So in this case, it should just remove the string in the link to, and it knows that. I see it. It's because I have the link to help with the blog, yes, but also providing yes, and it says boom, and it removes it. So this is just an example of how to solve the issues in case of it generating the wrong one. Just copy the thing and paste it in, and I'll reload it, and then it works. And now it's a little bit messed up here in design, but that is easy fixable. And this one, and now also for testing. So you have the API documentation, which looks like a public page, and then you have this one, which is a private page. So let's actually sign out, and boom, it's already removed. And I knew that because I saw it, but it's just a nice functionality that it already does stuff like that. Obviously, security is something you need to go. Now I'm just showing how to build this product, but obviously security is extremely important, especially for accessing other users' deployments and being able to post as other users and stuff like that. Obviously, you don't want to do that, but that will be just going through the code and actually understanding the code and see if it's getting. You get a lot of stuff like this for free because of the way Active Record and the models have been built up in Ruby on Rails. So you get a lot of it for free, but still you need to ensure that you can't destroy another user's deployments or set a deployment as you as another user. But since I already tested with the tokens and stuff like that, I'm pretty confident that that's fine. All right, so let's do another accept all. Boom, and let's also do a commit. Boom, and what did we actually do? We added the API documentation and updated views with improved navigation styling. Yes, we did. So let's do another sparkles for that one. Well, let's just close a lot of these pages. Okay, and let's see what else. So what we could do is we could go and do the GitHub or Gmail, but for that I need to create some tokens and that. So that will probably be in another video. So let's just go through the service again. What did I do? Have a simple feed, API first, minimalist input. Yes, it is public and transparent. And okay, so actually, shouldn't it be possible to create a post without using the API? Wouldn't it be nice if you can just do new deployment, and then it will do you could post a new deployment. And I think that I had that as a developer. I want to post a deployment message quickly. That is of course for interpretation, but I would say that I need some UI for that. And what about these ones? So the global feed post form, minimal input text field, one optional. So now I'll just nudge it a bit, and I'll just do like this, and then I'll say, cool. What about the form for posting a new deployment? Don't we miss that? And I'll just do this, just so it knows, and then say, you're right. and then it will actually, in this case, create a new interface for what deployment, I would guess, yes. And then it will also add to the navigation, and I'm pretty sure it will do some kind of new or create or post here, which will then go to a form showing two fields, showing the commit message field and the optional URL, and then the submit button or post button or whatever, or celebrate button maybe. So let's see. So it created this one, and again a form having the errors, so the deployment message and URL, yes, as mentioned, and then a post deployment, yes, as I guessed, and then it will update the controller, adding the new, yes, and the yes, and it updates the header with a yes, post deployment, yes. And what is it doing? Let's also add a permanent post deployment button to the home page. Well, that is a good idea. And how does it do that? So if the user is signed in, then you can actually have a post new deployment with an SVG, and it's completed. But I just want to check the last one. So let's also update the empty state on the home page to include a link to the new deployment form for signed in users. But that was exactly the same. No, okay. So now reload. Boom. Another one. It does the same bug as it just did, and it should learn. But lazy as I am, fix, I will say. And I am sorry, I will do it. And it will create it again. What is it doing? No. We need to define the link to. It was with a block, right? Yeah, okay, so good point. It actually did it right. So in this case, I would probably have said, it's missing the text string as I just saw earlier, but it's not. It's not the case in this one. It is. It's actually because it's not having the routes. So now it's actually fixing that, and then sometimes it does this, starting the RAID server, and it should not do that. I have informed it to not try to start it, but yeah, it's just a little bit annoying. So I'll reject this one because it should not be. It should not try to restart the server. And now reload, and now it is. So now we have feed, API docs, post deployment. So it, for whatever reason, it's meant, or it created this as both. That's a little bit strange, but anyway, on the page, if you signed in, you have a post new deployment. If you're not signed in, you don't have the one. You sign in, boom, you have it, you press it, you go here and you say, I just wipe coded myself, and do this. So that is pretty nice. So just a little bit, okay. Let's just accept this because it is awesome. And again, go here, generate, and say now we have the deployment form. I'll do Spark, and I just want to do a little tweak on the header. And I'll just do this, select the entire, and then I'll just do, could we simplify, I should probably move this here actually. Could we simplify the navigation a bit? Because it looks a little bit messy, to be honest. And also the font medium on this one was a little bit strange. I'm not sure why I decided to do that, but it's probably because it thinks it's quite important. But now I just, I did nothing. I just told it, hey, could you do some cool stuff? Could you try to do it better? and it looked like this before, and with just a simple prompt like that, it will do a little bit of iteration, and actually also now not just doing the navigation as I mentioned, but it will also do some updates to the home page. But actually not 0, 0, 0, 0. So it tried. But anyway, so it looked like this, and now it looked like this. So more simple. It has still the feed. It has API instead of API docs. I think it makes sense. It has a blue post, which is, I think, is perfect, because it's very easy to see that this is what you want. And you have your profile and the tokens. You should probably consider, because you have the managed tokens, you should probably remove these two. And obviously, because I'm a developer, I would just go in and do it because it's easier and cheaper. But then the post should also, in this case, I think the post should, no, actually the post should be where it is, because it's personal for this user. But anyway, profile and tokens, these ones should be merged, and I think I would just want to do it like this. So let's just merge the let's just have the profile link. No need to the tokens one, since we already is able to access that from the profile. Boom. And then in this case, it will just remove that line, hopefully not doing anything else, and it does. So in this case, it's that's the only thing it should do, and this is perfect. Obviously, you could do that yourself, right? But let's just do that. Then we have this profile, and you can do the managed profile. We can. What else can we do? I think this is. What about deleting a deployment? Do we want to do that? Do we want to delete a deployment? Because if you just deleted it, or you just deployed it, well, yes, I think you should be able to delete. So actually, let's do that. It should be possible to delete a deployment as well. Could you add that feature? And I just also showed you that, you know, I'm using voice in some scenarios, and in this case, it will do the destroy on the controller, and it will also add probably a trash can on various views. So it adds the destroy. Yes, makes sense. In the show, it probably add a trash can somewhere. Let's see. So yeah, what does it do? So back to feed, your deployments. What is it doing here actually? So it's if user sign in and you are owning the deployment. Okay, yeah, but it makes sense, right? Then yes, yeah, that makes sense. Then it adds the delete button on that one. So did it do anything else? Then it's yes on the. We should probably, yeah. We will also refactor this one in another video. I can actually show how to do that. But for now, it's yeah, because you know it should be this one. Obviously, we want to extract quite similar code you have on the home page and you have on the deployments index page. You want to extract that out into partials, so we don't need to update it. But I guess this one is pretty fine. All right, let's reload. What is going on? So we have a small delete button. Actually, I have noticed when I have a button, then it will not always add a cursor pointer class to it. And almost always for links, I would like that. So let me actually just try to go into my Windsurf rules, and then let's see if I can actually nudge it to include a use cursor pointer for interactive elements. And again, I just mentioned, hey, do cursor pointer, and then it adds for interactive elements. I just add this one because it's maybe it will be better at creating those. Now for this one, I will just do it manually because it's easier. Cursor pointer in this case, and now we have the cursor. Does it actually have some kind of? Okay, it looked like it had a background. All right, and what if we go here? Should we also be able to delete it here? Yes, we should. And we have it here. And let's actually create another user. And let's just see how it actually works with that, just to test that out. So this Peter guy was cool, but what about this one? And then just do Peter2 add, and let's just do another password. So now we have Peter2. So can I go in and see? Yes, I can. And I have no delete buttons. What if I go here? Oh, sorry. Yeah, here. No, I have no delete buttons. That is perfect. And I have a profile, and I have some tokens which are different. And that is perfect, right? So let's go back. This one, it seems like it's a little bit off in its design, and yeah, I don't want to tweak too much in design because it can be, a lot of time we extend on that one. But this is trivial stuff to add, right? So let's just log in again, and I think we are almost done with the first version. Do we need to do anything else? Friendly messages with quick links back to the feed. Yeah, do we have that? Fuba. Now, of course, it's in development mode, so we're not really seeing it. But I know we don't. But I also don't think I want to add it to this video, to be honest. So let's just finalize here with the last deployment deletion and improve header navigation. And that's also a sparkles. So I think that is probably it. We have also been going for 1 hour. But in 1 hour, we had the Rails set up. We had the Postgres database set up. Very simple stuff. That was basically just a Rails new setup. And then we created this, and we can deploy this one to production in 2 minutes. And I have some tweaks, and I want to go in and check the code in details, and then if it's cool and I can do some tweaks, then I'll deploy it, and it will be online soon. So thank you for watching.